Maybe. It says live. Okay, there we go. Now the numbers.
Yeah.
It'll say live, and then it'll wait for the countdown or the count up to say how long we're live. So anyway, what's up, guys? Happy Friday.
Hey.
Happy Friday. Paul, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, Zach?
Doing pretty good. Got some crazy things happening and going, and it's part of what we're going to talk about today. Ignore the real background over here.
That wasn't your house, Zach?
So I don't know what it is about the lighting tonight, but for some reason the lighting wasn't letting my green screen work properly, and it was very distracting. So I said, forget it. We're just not going to have it on. So guys, welcome as always. Make sure to pop in a win into the comment area. It's just live in the group. Somebody's asking me where we're doing the training. Cool.
Oh.
So, all right, guys. So tonight, here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about a couple of things. The first thing I want to talk about, I actually want to show you a specific ad and some fascinating behavior that the ad is doing, and it illustrates a really important point when running ads. And so I want to show you that, and then we're going to talk about conversations. Okay, so that's going to be really exciting. Organic traffic. Okay, and even some of what I did last month and some results from that. So I'm really excited to share it with you. I see some people hopping on, so make sure, guys, you share some wins. And let's go into that. Paul, what kind of win you got?
I got a lot of good wins this week, but okay, this one actually cracked me up. So have you ever seen Step Brothers?
Yes.
Okay, you know the scene where they're sleepwalking and they bring all the presents into the room and they start like tossing the Christmas tree and everything?
Yeah.
Well, the other night, I don't know if my son sleepwalks, but he was doing that with his bears. He's got a ton of stuffed bears, and he was just tossing them out his doorway, like almost exactly like the scene in Step Brothers, and it just cracked me up so much. Like, it was just such a funny thing.
Oh my gosh. That is hilarious. That's a fantastic win, man. I'm going to say, for me, what's the best win? Probably, well, what we're going to talk about tonight in terms of, like some of these conversations that I've been having with people, and what that's going to end up looking like, that I'm so excited about. So we're going to kind of dive into some of that kind of stuff. But first, I want to show you guys this thing with an ad that's, in my opinion, pretty fascinating, because a lot of people struggle with this. Okay, so let me just set up my filter so that you only see the part that's important. All right, and then I'm going to set the date. Yeah, this is going to be great. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. This is going to be an ad for a company that we're doing lead generation for, and we ran an ad, and it did really, really well. We're talking like $3 leads, and they were pretty good. Well, the customer wanted an additional filter. Okay, so we added another filter to qualify the lead a little better, which is totally fine. That's part of the game. I love it. Love the communication. And lo and behold, the lead cost went up naturally, right? Because we're no longer asking for just a phone number. Now we want phone number, email, city. Okay, so now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, all right, less people are opting in. So this is what becomes interesting. Okay, I want to share this with you. Share screen. Okay, you guys can see this. Let me zoom in. So here's what I want to show you. This bottom one here, this is the one where we had changed. This is set for October 6th. We had changed that filter, and all of a sudden, the lead cost went from $3 to $8.40, right? I want to show you the progress of this, And then what I want to do is this top one, keep an eye on it, because on October 6th, it was not on, obviously, because $0 spent. But what's the difference between these two is the top one, we are now optimizing for number 2 in the funnel. Okay, so instead of optimizing for the first step of the funnel, now we're looking for number 2s. Okay, and that's because at this point in time, we've had enough leads so that Facebook knows what number 2 is. But this is what becomes interesting. Okay, you're going to watch this progress. So this is on the 6th, $8.40. We're going to do this the 6th through the 7th. Okay, so that continues to go up. This one still hasn't started yet. We're going to do the 6th to the 8th. Okay, all right, so this one started. We got $23. Oh, that kills me. This one keeps going up. So I'm thinking like, okay, shoot, when is it gonna stop going up, right? Like I want that one to stay down below the $10 range if possible. And then this top one, I'm like, wait a minute. Why is it $23 when now I'm optimizing for number 2? Now, an inexperienced ad media buyer person, ad account manager, what they're going to do is they're going to freak out and they're going to turn this off. Okay? Don't turn it off. Okay? Especially if you just start a split test, at least 3 days, sometimes even 4, just to make sure it's not a weird situation like this. Watch. So we had one lead come in at $23 here. Since the 6th, we had 12 or 6 of them come in at $12.50. Well, that's an average. We actually hadn't seen any in a couple days, which is why this keeps going up. You following me so far? So watch, I'm going to change it. We're going to do the 6th through the 9th. This is interesting. What? What happened? So in a single day, okay, so this is day 2. There's $25 a day on this thing. So we're about $50. Day 2, all of a sudden, boom, leads started rolling in.
So okay. 8 and 8, and the second one is half the cost.
Yeah. And what's even cooler here is like, if let's track it back, right? Let's look at the clicks. So the link click-through rate percentage is actually literally the same, pretty much, right? The difference is that because we're optimizing for leads, more people are stopping to look at the ad, which means that this 1.7, this is actually more people because we have more people stopping. Okay, so then if we keep looking, let's look at the clicks. This is the click cost. This one was 40 cents. This one's $1. Ugh, it's more than double, but who cares? We got 8 leads out of 46 clicks versus 8 leads out of 260. Mm-hmm. Right? It's that's the power here. So higher click, but it's more qualified. It's a better click. Isn't that interesting?
That's very cool.
If I had shut this one off, like freaked out, shut it off, this would never have had the time to get to where it wants to go. Now, here's the other thing you got to think about. Okay, the other thing to think about here is going to be, hey, Josh. The other thing to think about is going to be, what is Facebook doing in the background? Okay, because they're not just running it randomly to random people. Okay, what they're doing is they're also testing all sorts of dynamic elements, such as placement, right? They're putting some of it in newsfeed, some of it in marketplace, some of it in right column, wherever they're placing it. And because they're doing those things too, it could be that the entire time, the first day, all they did was put everything into the right column placement. And so we were getting 0 results. And then day 2, they were like, that didn't work. Let me put this into newsfeed. And then all of a sudden, boom, a ton of leads come in. I don't know. I'm just hypothetically talking, right? It could also be an image. They were focused on one image on day 1. They switched focus on day 2. It could be some weird combination thing that they were working on. Who knows what is happening on in that background? But the point is, let it run for a few days. Don't panic if it doesn't work immediately and turn it off. Okay. Although there is a chance that the ad does not improve, right? And so then that's fine. You have to invest into those days in order to see and verify the result. Mm-hmm. They are the exact same ad. Yeah. So literally everything else was the same there. The only difference was I was optimizing for the second step in the funnel. Good question. Very good question. Very good, guys. So I just wanted to show you that. That's actually not the topic for the day, but it was a perfect illustration of why you want to wait. Okay.
Good point. I end up telling a lot of my clients that the first few $100s, even the first few $1,000s in their ad spend, they're just buying data, finding out who's likely to click, who's going to become a lead, and who's going to end up purchasing. Like Facebook just needs that ad spend a little bit just to find out who in their audience is the right person for your funnel.
Exactly. And and that was a split test. Yes. Good question. Perfect. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to share that with you. And so since then I've turned off, obviously, the first one, the one that was on the bottom there. And I have a new split test going because the number 2 is working great. Wonderful. Now I'm testing something else. And that's what you do. Okay. And I have an order of operations there that can be tweaked and modified. Nothing is black and white. You don't have to follow the exact steps. It depends on the data, depends on the numbers, which I'm still planning, although I really need to do it. I'm trying to work out a way, guys, to simplify the analytics side, where it's less of me, hey, it's like this, unless it's this, and unless it's that, except for that, right? Because that's what analytics and teaching it, that's what it's like. You want this click rate, unless it's more like this. And except that is acceptable, unless this is like that, right? It's just all sorts of, it's like, this is the rule, but there's a million exceptions. So what I want to do is I'm working on putting together something that can help map that out in a better way. So little foreshadowing for you. It's something I'm really excited about. Anyway, guys, what I really want to talk about is conversations, qualified conversion conversations. Okay. And what this is about, it's more, so I've learned over the last couple of years that it's pretty important, like really important, to try out organic strategies first, okay? Because I think you'd be very surprised at the kind of result you can get from really putting a lot of effort into even 1 month of crazy organic. Yep. So thank you, Edgar. I really appreciate that, because a lot of people, if you're a little confused by that, I'm sure a lot of other people are. Yeah, the whole optimizing for one step in the funnel versus another step, that's a Pixel training method that we use. It is in the training area for the guide marketing. So if you go under Funnel Factory, there is a training. It's kind of towards the bottom, and it says Pixel optimization or Pixel training, one of the two. So you can feel free to go look at that. I am actually modifying all of those courses. I'm so excited. So they're going to be so much better organized. I'm putting them all into high level and stuff like that too. So stay tuned for that as well. In fact, I'm going to be working on that tomorrow. So I'm really excited to do that. I like doing the courses. So thank you, Edgar. And don't worry about that, too much. It's much simpler than it sounds. It's literally just changing one setting. It just takes a little bit you might have to rewatch it a couple times to get it. It's totally fine. But what I want to talk about is like organic strategy. How do you start conversations? How much time does it take in reality? Okay, like per day, per week, and what kind of results you can get. So I'm going to actually start out with my filter method. Now I don't have, I don't have slides prepared because this is kind of off the cuff. We had originally planned on doing a hot seat, which is where we can actually look at your ad or your ad account if you need help with analyzing things, you need help with copy, you need help with funnel design, anything like that. We help you on the second Friday of every month. However, and that you can see that in the cover, okay? However, nobody requested help. So we're like, okay. So we're deciding to talk about organic traffic and how that works and what kind of results you can see from it, okay? Here's what I've learned overall, okay? Hear me out. Organic, it's like, it's the perfect analogy is that the analogy of the bamboo tree, right? So a bamboo tree, I don't know if you guys knew this, but it basically grows underground for like 5 years. And then on year 6, and Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, it's something like this, okay? And then in one single year, it like shoots up like super tall, right? It spends 5 years in the ground getting enough whatever it needs, right? And then in 1 year, boom, it just shoots out. Okay, that's organic. Okay, so you're going to spend some time underground, not really growing, not substantially, not tangibly growing, but then all of a sudden, it's going to shoot. Okay, and so the way I'll share with you my experience on this. Okay, and then I'll tell you the tactics. So here's kind of what happened last month. Okay, so last month I dove deep into organic strategy, everywhere from doing like the filter method and using that on my personal profile to commenting in groups, posting daily on my page, on my profile, in the group here, all sorts of things. And you guys would be shocked at how many conversations sprouted from that. Okay. But the goal here is, did I get some coaching clients? I did. I actually did. I made some money from it, but not a lot. And here's the key. Even though I didn't make a ton of money the first month, first off, let's analyze that for a second. Doing that for 1 month and making $1 is fantastic. Okay, making a high ticket sale is even more fantastic. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind. Anyway, but apart from that, here's the best part of it is right now I'm in conversations with guys that it's going to be worth so much more than one coaching client, right? So for example, some random guy found my random funnel for the filter method. And what's interesting is he came in the filter method after I took it down from my personal profile. I have no idea how he found it. Okay. He doesn't even know. He thought it was an ad. Okay. So I don't know where he saw it or what. All right. And so this guy came in, and turns out he's got a like $15 million business. Like, what the heck? And so I started out by saying, like, what are you looking for? Right. And he told me some ideas, and I figured my agency was the best fit for him. I get on a sales call with him, and during that call, I established it wasn't the best fit. And I said, look, I'm not saying I can't help you. I'm saying what I prepared as an offer is not the right offer. It's not what you need based on this conversation now. And so we're taking it back to the drawing board. That is a conversation, guys, that's going to be worth a lot of money, right? Potentially, right?
Way to distance yourself from the result too.
Oh yeah,
not just plugging ahead and trying to force that sale down his throat.
And that's really important. And that's probably one of the hardest parts about organic is separating yourself from the financials, right? If you can just focus on serving and like what the person needs, how your skill set can help them. And if you focus on that, it's just amazing what can happen, you know? And so that's a really exciting conversation. We have another one that's happening due to one of my business partners and his organic strategy. Same kind of situation though. It's these conversations, and this conversation potentially could get us in with a whole bunch of businesses, right? This is the point. Okay. Now I want to get tactical. I want to share with you exactly what I did every single day. Okay. And how much time it took and all that stuff. But here's what you can expect in terms of results. You might get a sale. You might get 2 sales. You might even get 5 sales. Okay. First month. Okay. Even if you don't though, let's say you get 0 sales. The point is not the sale. The point is the progression. Okay. And if you can focus on what conversations am I having where I have the capability of serving people and using the skill set that I have, I'm telling you, it's just an unbelievable amount. I have so many conversations going right now. I had to stop organic. I was getting so many Facebook messages every day, or like them reaching out to me. Hey, can I have your help? I saw your post. Okay. Like in 1 month, guys, like I didn't even go super nuts with it. So
I hope that everyone's taking away from this that Zach's not throwing out statements and just, the canned responses, things like that, that a lot of people, especially on LinkedIn, are doing right now. Like sending out the automated messages, that sort of thing. It's dead. Like the people who are teaching that right now, it's an outdated form. And right now, especially during, this isn't a depression, it's more of a recession, I guess. But especially during a recession, people are more hesitant to spend money because they're worried about the future of their business. They're worried about all kinds of things. They're worried about their health. They're worried about the election even. So really having a conversation is a big component of this. And I love that Zach is really taking this to heart. And, if you're just making a statement, that's just throwing a dead slab of meat on the table. It doesn't really do anything.
That's a crazy analogy. Yeah, no, but it's true. And that's actually what can separate what you can do, what you can accomplish compared to other people. Other people are so focused on automating. And don't get me wrong, time is my most valuable asset. I understand the importance of automation, but it depends on where you're at in business. Like there is no way Russell Brunson's going to be talking to people, chatting them online on Facebook Messenger. You know what I mean? Like he'll do comments every once in a while, in his videos or go lives or whatever. That's fine. But there's no way. Like, do you know how many messages Russell Brunson probably gets on Facebook every day? Like thousands, right? Like it's probably insane. And most of them are probably pitches, right? Like, I can help you, right? So it's just not realistic for someone in that particular type of position. But if you have more time than money, it's ridiculous that you would be trying to automate instead of having quality conversations. Mm-hmm. Okay. Just talk to people. It's just the most amazing experience. I love it. I've always enjoyed talking to people and seeing how I can help them. And it's actually kind of fun. Okay. And so here's what I did. Okay. Let's go into the tacticals here. So by the way, guys, feel free to pop your wins down in the comments. We always love seeing the positivity, especially in the negative world of today.
And you never know who you're going to inspire by your wins.
Yes. 100%. Anyway, so here's kind of what I did. And again, I don't have slides for this, so you're going to have to take the verbals and take notes of this, okay? But I basically did 4 things every day. Quattro. Okay. Number 1, before we get to those 4 things, first thing you have to do, this isn't a daily thing, but it's just a task to check off. You have to pick 2 to 3 groups where your ideal client is hanging out. Okay, regardless of what you're offering. If you're a life coach, you got to find these groups where people looking for life coaching are hanging out, or people, even life coaches that need life coaching. Okay, because for me, my specialty is helping people with broken ads, right? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for people running ads. That's what I was looking for. So I joined. Well, I was already a part of 3 groups, and I picked 3 specific groups to kind of target. That's what you got to do. 2 to 3. Okay. I did 3. It doesn't have to be 3. It could even be 1. Actually, you can use the same strategy with 1 if you really wanted to go crazy. And to be honest, I might take one of those 3 off of my plate because the response was so low compared to the other 2. Right. So here's what you do on a daily basis. There's 4 things you need to do. Thing number 1, you post in those groups. Okay. Now here's what I did. I did not post in all the groups every day. I posted once a week in all 3 groups. Okay. Monday, I posted in group A. Wednesday, group B. Friday, group C. All different posts. They are unique posts. They are not the same post.
Good point. I love when people are in 3 different groups and they post the same thing, because Facebook will compile them all for me because I'm often in the same group with them in all of the groups that they post in. So be very cognizant of that.
Yes. Yes.
Because Facebook will compile those into one post
And
and
then it
show
looks
you each iteration of it.
and then it looks a lot less like you want to give value. It looks a lot more like you just want eyeballs. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It looks, especially if you're a marketer talking to other marketers, they know. Right.
Yeah.
So, and it's interesting because, yeah, so these three groups, a lot of them are the same crowd. You know what I mean? So anyway, so here's what I did. So but I would still think about it. I'll just tell you the three groups that I was doing this with. You can actually go and search my name in those groups, just see what kind of stuff I'm posting in there. It's totally good. So one was ClickFunnels. That's the one that I might drop. There's too many. It's just too big. All right. Too many people, too much garbage in there. Okay. And not the people are great, but there's a lot of what's your favorite color? It's like, who gives a crap? All right. So anyway, so that's one group. The other one was the high level group. Okay. For the high level software. Why that group? It's a group of agency owners. Like everyone in there is running Facebook ads. That's like perfect for me. Okay. And the third group is Facebook Ad Hacks, which is a Cat Howard group. And that's also full of agency owners and Facebook ads people. All right. And so those are my three targets. And I literally wrote down in my notebook, like the possibles, right? And I had a list of like 10 and I'm like, I got to narrow this down. And so I was eliminating like, not this one, not this. So when I would make a post, let's say I'm talking to ClickFunnels, what would I think about? Okay, funnel hackers. What are they doing that's like common in that community that I think is not right or dumb or not effective? And so I would always start with some kind of like a contrarian statement or prolific statement, right? Like I would say, or even something that would be so freaking complimentary that they had to read it. So for example, I would say something like, here's the greatest thing I learned from Steve Larsen this year. Right. And then boom. And then I talk about a concept that I learned from Steve Larsen, and they're all like reading it because they all love Steve Larsen. I mean, goodness gracious, it's the ClickFunnels group, right? So that was like an example post, right? Now, if I switch over, if I'm looking at high level, so high level is a bunch of agency owners. Okay, what's a concept that agency owners believe that I think is not necessarily the best method? Hey, here's why I don't do pay per lead model, right? The pay per lead model is blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then my model is blah, 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 blah. Do you agree? And boom, like the whole discussion about what model is best for an agency. Okay. Including some arguing going on. Right. And then boom, I switch over and I look at Facebook ad hacks. These guys are strictly running Facebook ads for the most part. And there's a lot of talk in there already about statistics and what's good, what's bad, and benchmarks and stuff like that. So I had one in there. This is my best one. It got just so much engagement. It's ridiculous. It started out with cost per click doesn't matter. Okay. So like, oh my gosh, people are freaking out. They're, what are you talking about? You get a lower cost per click, you get lower on the conversion on step 2. And I'm like, no, here's a screenshot. And right now I took screenshots of several ad accounts where I'm showing where the click cost was going up, but the cost per conversion was going down. And each campaign as it went. And so, just having that discussion has been amazing. Okay. So that's one thing I would do is I'd post in those groups once a week. All right. Now, if you only have one group, you can do twice a week, right? I mean, or even 3 times a week, as long as they're unique. All right. So by the way, within that month, I was like a conversation starter or a visual teacher in those groups. I had a little badge, right? By the end of last month. So the second task that you want to do is you comment in those groups 5 different posts. You comment on 5 other different posts every day. But what I would do is, so let's say group A, ClickFunnels, I would make the post on Monday. I would do the 5 comments also on Monday. I'd find other people's posts and comment on them. And then on Tuesday, I would do the same thing in ClickFunnels. Wednesday, I would post in high level. And I'd do 5 comments in high level. Thursday, I'd do the 5 comments in high level. Again, Friday. So every 2 days, I'm focused on that one group. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's step 2.
Yeah.
Step 3, anyone that engages in any of your content. in those groups or on your comments, okay, that you're making. Friend them. Ask them to be your Facebook friend. And then number 4, message those friends. Send them a message. What are you working on nowadays? Ask them that specifically. Do not say, what's your business like? Or, hi. Don't you love those? Just, hi, how are you? Like, no. What are you working on nowadays? That expresses interest. It's not a yes or no question. It gets them excited about whatever they're passionate about. Like, oh my gosh, I'm working on a new course, right? Like, they're excited about it, okay? Those are the 4 things I did. Now, another task I did is I scheduled out content to post on my profile every single day of the month. Okay, so but I didn't have to worry about that in terms of time consumption because it was already scheduled. And I like to use Social Bee. Social Bee is my scheduler of choice. They've got some pretty cool features. So, and it's like $15 a month. Okay, it's pretty good. So those are the 4 tasks I did every single day for a month. And it only took like a week before I stopped messaging people. Okay, I took that off my plate. About 3 weeks in, I stopped commenting. Okay, because I'm telling you, the messages coming in, hey, dude, I saw your post in this group. It was amazing. Can we talk about that? You know, like people reaching out to me asking for help. Okay, so then what did I do? Sure, here's my calendar link. Let's schedule a time, 30 minutes. You know, let's talk about it. I would get on the 30-minute call, and this is the sales. So that's the marketing, organic marketing strategy. I just gave it to you, okay? And then here's the sales process. Ready for this? So that first call, hey, yeah, I saw, you know, your message to me said you had an issue with this, this, and this. Let's go over that. Do you mind sharing your screen and stuff? We'll make use of this 30 minutes. And they'd be like, yeah. Boom, share the screen. Boom, I give them value. I help them. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, great. I can't wait to see the result from this. That's it. No sale. That's it. So then guess what I did 3 days later? Hey, how's that ad going? How did that tweak? What did that do for you? Right? And if it was like, oh man, it improved it. There's progress. Great. Do you want to get on another call? This time there's going to be a pitch, right? And then I went ahead and sold it. And here's the interesting thing. The first call, like half the time, the people would be like, that's it? And I'd be like, yeah, why? And they're like, well, I was expecting you to try to sell me something. Because guys, I'm talking to marketers, right? They know the routine, right? And so I'm like, yeah, you know what? Actually, I would love to schedule another call where I do try to sell you something, but this, I literally just want to help you out. You know, let's just follow up in 3 days and we'll schedule a new time and I'll just share with you some of the things I have to offer. And they're like, okay. Like I did not get a single person go, no, I don't want to talk to you again. No, because I just gave them, right? They had to ask me about what I have to offer. Mm-hmm. Do you see how that works? Okay.
Yeah. All right. You're building trust and you're showing proof of concept there. Right. I got to ask, what's your follow-up rate on that second call?
Not wonderful. No. So they, you know, they take my money. So I would say, let me just think about how many first calls I got on. I would say I probably got on like 6 first calls last month. Like not a ton, right? I'm not saying it was like 30 calls. That's the thing. Like time-wise, it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. Like 6 calls, and the follow-up, I think it was 2 people that accepted the follow-up call, one of which bought. Okay, so the other one, not quite. But I'll help him again, and he'll come in. He just needs to make a little more money, right? So, but do you see the process there? Like it's pretty straightforward, okay? And I wasn't even really trying. So let's look at how much time did it take me. So when I had to pick the groups, right? That took me, I don't know, 10 minutes, okay? Then I had to schedule out all the content that for the month. That did take time. I would say 4 hours, okay? Because it's quality content. right? So it took me about 4 hours for the daily post content. Then I had to make the group posts content. Okay. And I just sat down and did this for the whole month. All right. So I just sat down and I said, okay, each group is going to get 4 posts during the month of September. So I have to make, right, 4 times 3, 12 different posts. And so I just thought about each group individually, thought about certain concepts, typed some stuff up, and put some things. That probably took another couple hours. Okay. So now we're at 6 hours and 10 minutes. Okay. 6 hours and 10 minutes to set it all up. That's guys, you can knock that out in between Saturday and Sunday, 3 hours each day. Okay. Now what I did, every day I had to copy and paste the post into the group, comment on 5 things. It took me 15 minutes to comment on 5 things every day. And then I would do another 15 minutes later in the day to reply to comments on my post because there was a lot of engagement, right? So that's 30 minutes just in the groups. And then I would do the messaging. And I would do 15 minutes during the beginning of the day, 15 minutes towards the end of the day, just talking to people on Messenger. Okay, so you're talking about an hour a day in total. 15 minutes in a group, 15 minutes on Messenger. Later in the day, do it again. And sometimes it was less, right? Depending on how many messages and stuff. Okay, so an hour a day, produced 6 phone calls, produced 1 sale. High ticket.
And there's a cool little thing to remember about that as well, is that maybe not everyone is ready to buy from you right away or necessarily get on the phone call because, one, they're expecting a sales pitch, first of all. But, you're building rapport within the industry. So you're building a name, and people aren't likely to buy unless they know you very well, and they know that you're a subject master.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Organic is going to snowball, right? Because I just told you at the beginning of this whole thing, yeah, only one person gave me money, but how many conversations do I have going right now that are potentially worth way more than just that one sale, right? And all that happened because of those efforts, because of the 6 hours put in to set everything up and the 1 hour a day. Okay. So in total, 36 hours. Okay. So let's just look at it. 36 hours to produce a high ticket sale. Think about that. 36 hours. Split that up. Do the math. It's pretty good.
Edgar's got a good.
Oh, what has he got here?
Comment there. He's giving you some feedback on the system there to improve your rates for that second call.
Got it. I know. Sometimes I'm a little too honest. I'm like, no, that's the next call. I'll sell you that. No. I appreciate that, Edgar. Set up Facebook profiles to track organic leads. Yeah, 100%. I can do that for you. I can help you with that in a second. So the point though is this. So I ended up having to stop because I have a lot of work right now that I have to fulfill on. Okay. From between that and these other efforts that I was doing for the other hours of the days. Right. And so now I'm a little bit too busy to continue that train. But I was just thinking, like, if I had one thing that I was focused on, which by the way, I recommend. Okay, don't be crazy like me and try to do more than one thing. But if you were to focus on one single thing and you spent that hour a day, 6 hours a month to set everything up for the month, 1 hour a day, you get this snowball effect. You might get one sale the first month, but then the next month you already have the snowball going. The momentum is there. You just keep going at it. You keep going at it. And this, man, if I could do it all over again, this is what I would do. But then again, if I did it all over again and I did that, I did not know enough. I didn't know what I know now. I kind of had to do some of the struggle to make sure I knew what I know. So cool. Yeah. So some tips to set up your Facebook profile to attract organic leads. Yeah, really simple. I'm actually going to share my screen. I'll share you my profile a little bit. Hey, Caroline. let me see here. Okay, so you can actually see the lack of effort right now on this page. Okay, so you can see it actually still talks about the challenge last weekend. Okay, so you got to have a cover photo that talks about something like this. So before this, I had the filter method up here. So if you have like a lead magnet that you know, or you want to, works really well, or you want to test it out to see how well it'll work, use your cover photo to actually talk about that particular lead magnet. And there's a few things you want to put in the cover photo. You want to put in some kind of pain point. Okay, so if I were to go back to the other cover photo that I had before, I wonder, can I see previous ones?
Should be able to.
There we go. So here you can see the filter method, free guide to Facebook targeting, disproves all the other methods. Stop doing this, no more of this, not even this, right? It's talking about a pain point that marketers have when it comes to Facebook targeting. So you want to talk about that. You also want a button. The button encourages them to click because here's the link to get it, right? And you want a visual representation of the product itself. Cool.
Simple.
So that's one of the things you can do. And then you just put the link. I would put it as a comment as well as a description here to talk more about it. And we've got some awesome people in the group that were engaging with it. So I appreciate that, guys. Cool. So then this is what I did here for Facebook targeting challenge last week, and that worked really well. And then the other thing you want to do is you want to have a feature image. So you can see my goal last month was to get people on a free strategy call. Okay. And so instant calendar access, click here, which is theguidemarketing.com. So you want to have a feature image, just one. You can have more than one in here. And by default, there's like a bunch. So just have one and build some kind of cool little thing in Canva like this. So that's the second thing. The third thing that you should do is post every day. Your post should actually be different. Okay, so like I have a memory here. Here's the cover change. Here's a weird elephant thing. Here's a meme kind of thing or an inspirational deal. Here's another inspirational deal. Now this one had some decent comments and stuff like that. Obviously, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And guys, this is feedback, right? The idea of being calm during a crisis apparently is a common topic because this is getting it's got 2 shares and 7 comments, compared to my other posts. That's pretty good. So you want to take note of those kinds of things because those are the things to talk more about. So anyway, the point is you want to kind of vary it up a little bit and, yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like here I have a weird video thing. It's like trippy. I have a GIF in here.
I can't believe they made that the official pronunciation.
Sorry. I'm sorry if I offend you with my GIF languaging, but that's what it is, literally. Look it up.
I know.
Same with niche. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, guys. If you're used to saying niche and GIF, I'm annoying you probably when I say niche and GIF. Is your personal page? Yeah, that's my personal profile. And here's why you want to do that. Okay, now I know this is a sensitive topic because a lot of us, my personal profile used to be for personal use, right? Family, friends, update on the family and stuff like that in there. And I changed that after OfferMind when Paul and I went last September. Russell Brunson actually said, guys, yeah, thank you, Caroline, for your support with niche and GIF. All right. But what Russell said, he's like, guys, if you're using Facebook for personal use, congratulations, you're now a consumer on Facebook. Like, be the marketer, be the leader on Facebook. That's just the way I'm just replying. I'm just saying what he said that hit me pretty hard. And I'm like, yeah, why? Like, I didn't even stay in touch with half the friends I had on there. Like they don't even. I don't look at them. They probably don't look at me. I barely post. That was a helpful thing for me because they probably didn't even notice that I unfriended them. There was only 2 people that noticed, and it was my best friend growing up and my mom. Right? They were like, "Why'd you unfriend me?" Other than that, right? And I just said, "Look, I'm using it for business purposes. It's not a big deal. It's really not." The rest of them didn't say a thing. They still probably don't even know. Okay. So here's the best part about it, though, and this is why it's important, because when you're in a group, first off, some groups will not let you join from your business page. Okay, so using your profile, they're going to let you in. That's number 1. Number 2, your message, when you message them, your message is going to go in the inbox as long as they're your friend. That's why I said message the friends. Don't message random people that are commenting on your post. Make them your friend first, because then it goes in their Facebook inbox. It doesn't go into the message requests category. Caroline's like, whatever, they can see all my business stuff. And that's fine too. That's fine too. I just felt that was uncomfortable for me, because I don't know. I don't know why. It's a weird psychology thing. Yeah. Josh made the swap a few months ago. I should be displaying these here. Made my personal profile for business and has opened a ton of doors. Plus I'm befriending realtors like crazy and using it for organic leads. It can be that simple. And that's the thing that Paul said, the know, like, and trust factor. Guess what? Now people are looking at my posts. People are commenting. More and more people are commenting. I have a lot of friends on my profile. I have like 4,000 something friends, and I'm working on getting rid of a bunch. I'm cleaning house so that the engagement level, the percentage is better, so I can use Facebook a little bit more efficiently. That's it, guys. It's an organic strategy that has set me up for a really good month this month. And I had a decent month last month, right? So it really can be that simple.
Can I just reiterate one thing? You mentioned that in the very beginning that organic is for people who have a little more time than money. But yeah. I also want to just add a little caveat there that even if you have a ton of money, if your offer isn't validated yet, then organic is 100% the first place you want to go to validate it. Because if you're starting a conversation with people and no one is biting even on organic, then it's a good chance that offer is dead. Because Zach actually brought this up with me with one of my clients. I was trying to run ads for him, and he's like, "Well, have you even tested organic and just gone into groups, see if anyone is interested in that?" Because maybe the offer's just a dud.
Yeah. And I remember that one, and that was because to me and to Paul, it was like a fantastic offer. It's something that a ton of coaches should use, right? And I'm like, but that's our opinion, right? Like let's just pop it in some groups and say, hey, let's see, outsourcing organic. Yeah, I mean, you can, but I really believe that you need to do it on your own for a little bit. Yeah. Get these conversations, because how am I supposed to send these tasks to a VA if I don't really know what to do there? Plus, my posts on my profile and stuff, I could have a VA do that. I have no problem outsourcing that part. But the group, there is no way a VA can. I shouldn't say there's no way. I'm sure there's an experienced VA that's really experienced with Facebook ads that can make the posts that I make, but it would be really hard to find them. I'd rather I know my content. I know what I'm good at, right? So that's a good question, though.
One thing that I've heard, and I'm certainly not at this level, so I'm just reporting this, is to document your process as well as how you go about posting and commenting on things, so that Zach can take himself out of the equation eventually by having a very well-documented system in place. So if someone needs to view a video first to, make a educated comment, then that's the way to do it.
Or what if I'm saving all my posts in these groups, right?
Mhm.
So like eventually I'm going to accumulate, let's just say 50 posts or something insane, right? Can't I recycle those? Right? I mean, think about it. Like 50 posts, we're talking, 4 months down the road, 4 or 5 months, 4.5. Okay. Like they're not going to remember a post I made 4 months ago. Boom, let's pull that back in there. Right. Like, so anyway, yeah. Josh, so it's crazy how it works. He just befriended Colette Brunson because he had a lot of mutual friends. At least maybe that's why she accepted. She may be trying to sell me something soon. Oh yeah, watch out. She could be essential oils pitch. That's awesome. Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, if somebody did pitch you essential oils, pitch them back. Say, hey,
Yeah.
essential oils are fantastic. I'd love to help you get more customers. Boom. Right. So anyway, guys, we're about to end. We're about done with time, but this was kind of off the cuff. It was Paul's idea. Blame him. I'm just kidding. No, but it's important, I think. And so every second week now we are going to have a hot seat. So if you're running ads or if you need help with an ad or copy or funnel design or anything like that, you can actually fill out a form. It's just go.theguidemarketing.com/hot seat. Okay, so go there. It's a Google form. Fill it out, apply, and we'll cover you next week. Okay, we want to help you. Next week, however, we're actually going to have an interview. So it's going to be awesome. So make sure you come in next week. I'll be advertising it throughout the week, of course. But yeah, Paul, you got anything else?
Yeah, if you guys want to keep this hot seat going, Zach and I live by what we teach. So we're going to listen to our market. If no one applies for this, then we'll probably end up kicking it.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a valuable tool. You get some expert advice on your business or your ads. So if you want to keep this going, sign up for that. Try and get in there. Otherwise, we're going to assume that no one wants to do it. There is a fear factor, I'm sure. People don't want to be put in the spotlight, but you know what? Your business is worth it.
Yeah, 100%. That's well said. Caroline, we're talking about the hot seat, which so on the second Friday of the month, people can apply for us to review their stuff, whatever it is that they're struggling with. And, kind of like the inner circle, but for one person on a Friday night to show it to people. And that way everyone can learn from the experience. Right. So I'll do the hot seat. Perfect. Well, you got to apply. We'd be happy to have you for sure. Cool. All right, guys. I think that's about it. Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I look forward to next week and sharing with you our guest for the interview. So we'll see you guys next week.